Welcome to the closing ceremony of the Ending Plastic Pollution Innovation Challenge, or EPPIC project. EPPIC is an ASEAN-wide competition calling for all innovators to share their bright ideas in tackling plastic pollution. It is spearheaded by the United Nations Development Program and is supported by the Norwegian Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Norwegian Agency for Development Cooperation. We are here on site at the breathtaking island of Samal, and we are joined online by our esteemed guests from the Philippine government, Republic of Indonesia, UNDP country offices in the Philippines, Vietnam, and Indonesia, as well as the 4 winning teams from the Phase 2 of the EPPIC project. Before we start, we would like to acknowledge the support of the Norwegian Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Norwegian Agency for Development Cooperation for their generous support to the EPPIC project. We are live via UNDP Indonesia's YouTube channel and UNDP Philippines Facebook page. To formally open the program and welcome us in this beautiful island in the Philippines, we will hear from the city administrator of the Island Garden City of Samal. Speaking on behalf of the Honorable Mayor Al David Uy is the City Administrator Mr. Neil Jun Colita Estrelon.
Thank you, Erika. So our distinguished guest, Dr. Zelba Ramanchandran, and to Assistant Director Vismenda Osorio, and to our department heads of the Island Garden City of Samal, and to UNDP partners of this program, to one and all, good afternoon. Plastic is destroying marine life and polluting the oceans at an unprecedented rate. Plastic waste does not know borders, traveling across seas, rivers, and to affect all societies and economies. It's also a key driver of climate change. Emissions from plastic will reach 17% of the global carbon budget within the next 3 decades. Without action, we risk having more plastic than fish in the oceans by 2050. According to one study, Vietnam, Thailand, Indonesia, and the Philippines are 4 of the largest contributors of marine plastics. They are major importers, producers, and consumers of plastic and possess limited waste management systems, leading to the leakage of plastics into the environment. With this program of the United Nations Development, with support from the Norwegian Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Norwegian Agency for Development Cooperation, implementing the Ending Plastic Pollution Innovation Challenge, which the Island Garden City of Samal is the focal island for this challenge. These innovative ways to fight ocean plastic are already being developed, but they often lack the support of visibility they need to grow. EPPIC provides an exciting opportunity for innovators to receive seed funding and incubation training to help them maximize the chance of success. Phase 2 of this EPPIC focus on the coastal cities of the Philippines and Indonesia and in the Philippines. And we are partnering the UNDP, the coastal city of Davao del Norte province, situated at the heart of Davao Gulf in the southern part of the country, as the focal point of this challenge. For and on behalf of the city mayor, we would like to extend our gratitude to the UNDP, the Norwegian Ministry of Foreign Affairs, to the Norwegian Agency for Development Cooperation for having this challenge, and Samal being your partners. And we are hoping that the city enlighten this challenge And the city government now also is strengthening our effort to fight the increasing plastic in the island garden city of Samal, being the tourist destination of the island. We are about 10 to 15 tons every month that we collected plastic in the island garden city of Samal. And that note, it's really challenging to the island. So with this challenge, it opens our programs also, not only in Barangay Peña Plata and Barangay Poblacion as the focal barangay. We wanted that this program also develops to other coastal barangays who made and produce more plastics. So we thank you really that this program is here in the island. Once again, the mayor cannot make it today because of the emergency call from the family. But this program will be strengthened and institutionalized and will be adopted by the city government. Not maybe, but of course, it will be streamlined to our barangay government. Thank you, welcome, and have a good day to all of us.
Daghang salamat, Mr. Estrelon. Joining virtually to welcome us to the island of Mandalika, let us hear from the Regional Secretariat of West Nusa Tenggara Province, all the way from Indonesia, Mr. Madani Mukarong.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat sore, salam sejahtera bagi kita semua. Yang kami hormati Bapak David Lombok Samal Islands, Bapak Nori Masa Indonesia selaku Residen Representatif UNDP Indonesia, Bapak Dr. Machandran selaku Residen Representatif UNDP Filipina, Bapak Traffic selaku Director Departemen Klimat and Environment Norad, Bapak Ahmad Bahri Rambe selaku National Project Coordinator Norwegian Agency UNDP, Bismillah Osorio selaku Environment Management Department of Environment and Natural Research Philippines, Bapak Ropiah Al-Hamid selaku Asisten Deputi Pengolahan Sampah Kemenko Manifest Republik Indonesia, Panitia Penyelenggara EPPIC 2021, para finalis EPPIC 2021, hadirin sekalian yang berbahagia. Alhamdulillah kita masih diberi kesehatan, kesehatan, dan kesempatan untuk beraktivitas dan berdiskusi dalam acara Closing Ceremony EPPIC 2021. Sebelumnya saya mengucapkan selamat kepada para pemenang EPPIC 2021, yaitu Blue Ocean dan Trax Cash untuk Filipina. Selanjutnya untuk Altrapex dan Siklus dari Mandalika, Indonesia. Para pemenang ini sudah mulai begitu banyak tahapan termasuk inkubasi di Kutu Mandalika pada tahun 2021. Kami juga mengucapkan terima kasih kepada panitia yang telah memilih kawasan Mandalika sebagai salah satu lokasi EPPIC 2021. Di kawasan ekonomi khusus Mandalika adalah satu dari 5 destinasi super prioritas nasional di negara Republik Indonesia. Dan seperti yang kita ketahui bersama, bahwa sport event skala internasional akan digelar di Mandalika mulai dari World Superbike dan MotoGP. Hadirin yang berbahagia, konsekuensi dari penyelenggaraan sport event ini adalah meningkatnya jumlah pengunjung atau wisatawan, dan itu akan meningkatnya jumlah aktivitas lainnya yang berbanding lurus dengan timbulan sampah di kawasan kek Mandalika tersebut. Saat ini pemerintah Provinsi NTB sedang berusaha untuk memperbaiki tata kelola sampah, khusus termasuk di kek Mandalika dan di kabupaten kota se-Provinsi Nusa Tenggara Barat, melalui program unggulan kami yaitu NTB Zero Waste. Adanya kegiatan EPPIC ini tentunya sangat mendukung upaya pemerintah dan masyarakat NTB untuk mewujudkan NTB yang asri dan lestari menuju NTB gemilang. Hadirin yang berbahagia, EPPIC ini diharapkan bisa terus berjalan dan menghasilkan inovasi-inovasi yang relevan dengan kondisi saat ini dan masa depan budaya masyarakat kearifan lokal. Volume sampah yang ada dan yang akan dihasilkan dari berbagai aktivitas di kek Mandalika dan sekitarnya berpotensi untuk terus meningkat, sehingga EPPIC ini diharapkan juga muncul solusi yang efektif untuk meningkatkan partisipasi masyarakat dalam pengelolaan sampah, karena masalah ini menjadi permasalahan yang umum di NTB dan bahkan di Indonesia. Target pengurangan sampah plastik ke laut sebesar 70% pada tahun 2025 tentu merupakan target yang membutuhkan perjuangan dan komitmen bersama dari seluruh pihak. Kami mengapresiasi Sekretaris Tim Koordinasi Nasional Penanganan Sampah Laut yang didukung oleh UNDP, Archipelago and Iceland States, Forum dan Norwegian Agency for Development Cooperation dan Norad yang telah menyelenggarakan kompetisi ini. Sebagai sebuah kompetensi EPPIC Closing Challenge tingkat Asia Tenggara yang bertujuan menunjang inovasi tersebut menjadi lebih aplikatif ke depannya, menjadi lebih sederhana dan menjadi semakin lebih bermanfaat bagi upaya pengurangan sampah plastik di laut. Harapannya inovasi-inovasi yang dihasilkan adalah solusi yang mudah untuk diimplementasikan dan menjadi solusi yang efektif dalam mengatasi permasalahan sampah plastik baik di Mandalika dan sekitarnya, serta tentunya bisa direplikasi, diadaptasi di pusat pengolahan sampah yang ada di NTB maupun Indonesia. Hadirin yang berbahagia, semoga kegiatan EPPIC ini masih bisa terus dilaksanakan di waktu-waktu mendatang. Terima kasih kami ucapkan untuk penyelenggara dan para pemenang. Selamat untuk kesuksesan penyelenggaraannya. Sekian, terima kasih. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat sore.
Thank you, Mr. Mukaro. I hope you all feel as encouraged as I am after hearing those warm messages from Mr. Esdrelon and Mr. Mukaro. Now, the lead agency of the EPPIC project of the United Nations Development Program will be presented by its two country offices who are leading the implementation of this phase of the EPPIC project. First, let us all welcome the resident representative of UNDP Indonesia, Mr. Norimasa Shimomura.
Distinguished participants from Indonesia, the Philippines, and Vietnam, distinguished partners from Lombok and Samal, our generous partners from Norway, my colleagues from UNDP offices, Salamat Sore, and a very good afternoon to you. First, let me extend my warmest congratulations to the winners of Ending Plastic Pollution Innovation Challenge, or EPPIC, Ultra Packs, Cyclos, Pure Oceans, and Trash Cash for providing innovative solutions to plastic pollution. I'd also like to thank the local governments of Lombok and Samal for welcoming us to host the competition, as well as the ongoing support to our winners. Ladies and gentlemen, we all have love and hate relationship with plastics. No other material has shaped our lives more than plastics. They have provided solutions to our communications, technology, travel, and medicine. And we have grown completely reliant on them. So much so that the global production of plastic has skyrocketed by 200-folds to 7.8 billion tons by 2015, from just 2 million tons in 1950. It's a plastic revolution at a monumental scale. And yet, scientists have estimated that it takes at least 450 years for plastics to decompose in landfills where they are dumped. What about those that are being thrown into the sea? It might take much longer, and given the enormous volume put into the open water, many scientists and environmentalists believe that by 2050, there will be more plastic in the ocean than fish. This is hardly the revolution we envisioned. We must move quickly to address this plastic dilemma. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to note that the world has come together to tackle this crisis. Earlier this year, the United Nations Environment Assembly voted to develop a legally binding agreement to end plastic pollution by 2024. It's a pact that holds endless opportunities. But we all know to make this pact work, we must be continually on the outlook for answers. Our current knowledge and technology are not sufficient to end this crisis. Therefore, a regional initiative such as EPPIC has become even more critical because not only does it promote innovation, it also connects and allows coastal communities in the region to share experience and lessons. In particular, I am pleased to note that the 4 winners have tapped into larger solutions in ending plastic pollutions, such as the principle of no waste and no emission circular economy models. As you may be aware, circular economy is one key area where UNDP Indonesia has been closely collaborating with the government of Indonesia. I'm also thrilled to note that most of our teams are led by women. I trust you will be an inspiration to other women to act and contribute to the solution for the plastic problems in their regions, leaving no one behind. While today we are celebrating the closure of a phase of this project, our work and collaboration will press on. Plastic pollution is a colossal problem in the ASEAN region. Therefore, ASEAN countries need to be in constant pursuit of innovations in materials, product design, behavioral change, and end-of-life treatments. With our colleagues and partners from Vietnam and Philippines, as well as Norway present, I look forward to having even more dialogues and collaborations in the future. Let's make EPPIC a starting point to advance dialogue, expand innovations, and focus investment to help create a circular future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Shimomura. Now, let us all hear from the resident representative of UNDP Philippines, Dr. Selva Ramachandran.
Thank you very much. Mayung hapon, selamat sore to our colleagues in Indonesia. Good afternoon. First, let me acknowledge and extend our deepest gratitude to our partners in EPPIC project. To the city government of Samal Island, Mayor Al David Uy and Vice Mayor Lemuel Reyes, UNDP is truly grateful for the partnership through the City Administrator's Office and the City Environment and Natural Resources Office. The implementation of this project in the Philippines would not be successful without your cooperation and consistent support. This morning I had the opportunity to view the ongoing work and I was so encouraged to see the green heroes in Samal Island. To the Department of Environment and Natural Resources, Environmental Management Bureau at Minda Osorio for the continuous guidance and support of the agency in effort to strengthen the programs in tackling marine litter. To our colleagues in UNDP, Indonesia and Vietnam for a fruitful collaboration in forwarding the cause to healthier seas and ocean in Asia Pacific region. And to the Norwegian government and Norwegian Agency for Development Cooperation, without their generous support, we would not be here today to witness the remarkable milestone of our young innovators. Let us all give a big applause to the support provided by the Norwegian government. Both the Philippines and Indonesia are consistently cited as two of the most beautiful destinations in the world. They belong to the category of the 17 mega diverse countries, with their marine ecosystem being home to over 70% of species of corals and reef fish and migratory path to critically endangered marine mammals. However, both the Philippines and Indonesia were also cited in 2015 as two of the top 5 countries contributing to marine plastic pollution. Developing nations in Asia has become a hotspot for plastic pollution, primarily because the production and use of plastics are predominant among countries with growing industries of low-cost products and packaging. The overuse and mismanagement of plastic have filled landfills and choked waterways, where thousands of tons end up in ocean. It threatens not only the marine wildlife, but the entire marine ecosystem that is one of the largest carbon sinks to fight climate change and provide sustenance to at least 500,000 million people around the globe. In a landmark study by World Bank, we only recover around 18 to 28% of the recyclable plastics. We lost over 70% of its material value, which is equivalent to USD 6 billion per year if we discard single-use plastic. We cannot let this to continue. With the worsening plastic crisis, the pressure to shift to a circular economy is greater than ever. It is imperative to find solutions that can merit value to use plastics, increasing financing for infrastructure that can improve local collection and recovery, and invest in renewable resources. To do this, we need the support of the government to help level playing field between local and international businesses that will drive the supply and demand for recycled plastic products. The private sector also plays a big role in consciously redesigning business models to incorporate circularity and explore ways to finance more local solutions that can help alleviate plastic problems. In a growing island community like Samal and Lombok, which are frequented by tourists, the approach to plastic waste management is trickier compared to highly urbanized communities where most of the technological advances are more accessible. Aside from the plastic consumptions by the local communities, plastic waste generation is affected by factors such as tourist foot traffic and shore waste drifted from neighboring island. It is also a transboundary issue. But through this project, we have already built a good momentum for the last 2 years. While phase 2 of EPPIC project ends soon, we consider it a bigger challenge for us to continue further the milestone that the four winners have achieved. I would like to congratulate them for successfully demonstrating that a circular economy in island community like Samal and Lombok is feasible. We have a long way to go, but we are confident that we continue supporting innovation like Pure Oceans, Trash Cash, Cyclos, and Afterpacks. We can end the plastic crisis and achieve circularity in our generation. For UNDP in the Philippines, I wanted to mention, we are encouraged to work in Samal, and now we are supporting working in 5 other LGUs, and we have greater plans to scale up such kind of good work in the entire nation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ramachandran. Those were very encouraging words from the key leaders of the UNDP, and we are sure that our partners and our winning teams are encouraged by this entire exercise to continue striving to sustain what has already been started through EPPIC. Our teams are now ready to present their EPPIC journey, but before we hear more about that, let's watch this highlights video of the field trips in Lombok Island.
Ending Plastic Pollution Innovation Challenge (EPPIC) merupakan kompetisi se-ASEAN bagi inovator untuk menuangkan ide dalam menangani permasalahan sampah plastik. EPPIC berupaya untuk mengurangi pencemaran plastik, terutama di kawasan pesisir, untuk mewujudkan SDGs ke-14, Life Below Water, dan SDGs ke-12, Responsible Consumption and Production. Sebagai bagian dari program akselerasi, para pemenang EPPIC 2021, AlterPax dan Siklus, melakukan field trip yang kedua di Pulau Lombok. Siklus dan AlterPax memaparkan inovasi dan menjajaki dukungan implementasi produk mereka. Siklus dan AlterPax berada di Pulau Lombok dengan agenda utama berjumpa langsung dengan pemangku kebijakan untuk menyampaikan inovasi yang mereka miliki. Siklus mendemonstrasikan produk dan langkah penggunaan produk inovasi mereka saat bertemu dengan Ibu Wakil Gubernur. Pengenalan dan demonstrasi produk kotak makanan berbahan baku batok kelapa juga dilakukan oleh AlterPax dengan Ibu Wakil Gubernur saat melakukan audiensi. Solusi inovatif dari kedua tim mendapatkan respons positif dari Ibu Wakil Gubernur. Implementasi program tim pemenang EPPIC juga disambut antusias oleh Dinas Lingkungan Hidup dan Kehutanan Provinsi NTB. Ketua Dinas Pariwisata Provinsi NTB menyebutkan bahwa inovasi para pemenang program EPPIC sangat berpotensi untuk dikolaborasikan dengan organisasi dan asosiasi yang dikelola oleh Dinas Pariwisata NTB. AlterPax dan Siklus sama-sama memiliki agenda yang variatif dan menarik selama menginjakan kaki di Pulau Lombok. Kedua tim bereksplorasi selama 3 hari untuk melaksanakan agendanya masing-masing di berbagai tempat. AlterPax memulai perjalanan dengan pergi ke Korleko untuk mengunjungi tempat pengolah batok kelapa. Kemudian, melakukan survei terhadap potensi lokasi pabrik dengan bertemu pemilik tanah di daerah Pringgabaya. Di sisi lain, Siklus mengambil kesempatan untuk memproduksi aset marketingnya di berbagai lokasi di Pulau Lombok. Ayo, terus dukung ide inovatif para pemenang EPPIC dan perjalanan mereka untuk mengurangi polusi sampah plastik.
Now that was a very beautiful recap of our Indonesian team's incredible journey. Now since our teams are already ready to present, the first 2 teams up are from Indonesia, AlterPax and Siklus. First off, let me introduce the Chief Operating Officer of AlterPax, Mr. Steven Tan.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, Honorable Mr. L. David Wee, Mayor of Samal Island and representatives from Samal Island, Mr. Madani Bukarum, Assistant of Governor for Government and People's Welfare, Regional Secretariat of West Nusa Tenggara Province, Mr. Nolimasa Shimomura, Resident Representative of UNDP Indonesia, Dr. Selva Ramachandran, Resident Representative of UNDP Philippines, Mr. Stig Travik, Director of Department for Climate and Environment, Norwegian Agency for Development Cooperation, Councillor Geir Michelson, Deputy Head of Mission, Royal Norwegian Embassy in Manila, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Stephen. I'm the Chief Operating Officer of AlterPax Private Limited. I'm very pleased today to have the opportunity to present our journey in this EPPIC journey. Next slide, please. I would like to start by saying that when we first started on this journey, we had this big ambitions in our heart to be able to reduce the plastic waste with our truly circular solution, which is making biodegradable and home compostable food containers from spent grains and other agricultural waste. We were also very clear that we do not want to just bring our solution and impose it onto the local communities. Rather, we wanted to work with the local communities and to use local solutions that may fit to our business model. From our first trip to Lombok, we noticed that there were a lot of coconut waste being discarded, and it occurred to us that we could probably use some of this discarded coconut shells as a raw materials for our food containers. Working closely with our R&D team, we conducted some trials and concluded that it was indeed a feasible solution. And we also wanted to conduct a feasibility study on possibly setting up a manufacturing facility with an innovation center so that we can also bring the benefits of our solution back to the local communities. Next slide, please. So these were some of our milestones of our journey in this EPPIC competition. We started with this participation in the Grand Prix in March of 2022, where we were able to bring in 400 of our eco-food containers, working closely with the Mandalika Hotel Association. And through this participation from Autopex, we were able to show that we can replace plastics. And 28 kg of our plastic containers, which would have been used otherwise, were replaced because we were able to replace it with these eco-containers. It was also important that we proved that our solution, Autopex materials, is suitable for containing Indonesian food, specifically to hold the curries, spices, and nothing leaked. It was also able to transport the food well. Next slide, please. Our next milestone was to understand how we could collect and harness the multiple plentiful coconut shells that's available in Mandalika in Lombok for us to then use as a raw material. We visited some of these coconut plantations. We worked with them to understand how we could use some of the empty shells. And through our innovation center in Singapore, we were then able to produce into pellets, which you will see on the bottom right. And with the pellets then being put into existing injection molding machines, we were able to form it into a product form. Next slide, please. And finally, we also conducted this feasibility study on a potential factory to be set up locally. The original location that was proposed is this Science and Technology Park on Banyu Mulek. However, we were told that it was not available, and an alternative area, Ringgabaya, was suggested to us. We conducted a field trip to the area, and based on various business considerations, it was also found not to be suitable. Next slide, please. And we are thankful to the regional government of Nusa Tenggara Barat, especially to our Deputy Governor, Ibu Dr. Siti Romi Jalila, who suggested that the government was willing to provide us provincial land. Initially, when we looked at it, it was forested area to be cleared. We are still considering this because we do not want to do something that is against the UNDP declaration of forests. So we continue to take this offer in consideration and will propose for various ways ahead. Next slide, please. And as a summary of our journey, we'd like to say that we are very thankful to all the agencies that have been involved for allowing us to have this opportunity to introduce our eco-friendly containers to Indonesia. We have proven that the materials in a truly circular solution can be made into containers that are suitable for the local food. And we also found that specifically for Indonesia consumers, that our design of 3 compartments may not be ideal. For example, we found that for dishes like nasi padang,
It is preferable to have up to maybe even 7 compartments, because we understand that Indonesians love their food, just like Singaporeans do, and they like to have all the fresh dishes surrounding the rice in the center. So we have already started this innovation by designing something that's suitable for Indonesia. And we continue to explore a suitable location for manufacturing and for potential factory outside of the Lombok region. And we hope certainly to be able to bring our operations into Indonesia in the not too distant future. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Stephen. Once again, that was Alterpax. Next up is the founder and CEO of Cyclus. Please welcome Jana van Robino.
Hi everyone, really glad to be here again. Can we go to the next slide? So yeah, today I'll be talking about the pilot that we've been doing in Lombok, and just a little bit about the background and the pilot models applied, as well as our impact. Next slide. So the background of the pilot was obviously that, you know, in the NTB region, there is a big waste problem, as in the rest of Indonesia, and so we felt that our model from Jakarta could be applied in Lombok. And we really wanted to test out which models could work. Like, we knew that we would probably have to do some adaptation, so we've done a bunch of focus groups, etc., to come up with the models that we wanted to do. Next slide. So we actually, when we came to Lombok, we looked at a variety of models. So one model was to actually look at warongs, and we ultimately decided against that because we spoke to a couple of warongs, and they essentially had no interest in working with us, and the customers were like, no, we really like sachets, like, we don't really think this is going to work. So then the other thing that we wanted to check was working with local nampas. So these are sellers that are already selling FMCG products at a discounted rate. They sort of go from door to door, but they also go to markets and they sell it. However, when we tried and worked with them, it was very hard because they already had their routine. They were very reluctant to work with us. They felt that they would, lose their former customers, and for them it was very new. And so ultimately, we decided to go with 2 models. One is our usual refill delivery model, so where customers can order via WhatsApp, the motorists deliver, and then we dispense into containers. And the second model was actually for small businesses, where we basically gave like a small sort of dispenser to the businesses, such that they could actually dispense for their own needs. So instead of buying this like big jerry can and they have to fill it into their laundry machine, they can then dispense it. So these are the 2 models that we were working with. Next slide. So we initially, we did our first trip to Lombok in February. We then built a team. We started socializing our business and also working with the government, and ultimately started taking orders from July onwards. Next slide. Part of our activities was also, was really trying to understand the local market. So we visited locals, we visited the market, we did focus group and discussions, and we also visited local communities and learned more about their waste management. Next slide. And then we started our setup of operations, so our warehouse, our delivery, our SOPs. Next slide. And then we did a lot of socialization. So we could participate in events like the Car Free Day and other socialization efforts. Next slide. So part of the socialization we did was actually with the Family and Welfare Empowerment Group. So we did a bunch of events with the PKK. Next slide. And ultimately, we started selling in July, and I think what essentially our sales were below what we had expected. And I think the key challenges that we saw were that when we reached in Lombok and we started talking to the local suppliers, we quickly found out that the sachet price is a lot lower than in Jakarta, and also the bulk price is a lot higher. So it was very hard to find a price that actually compete. So sort of the basis of our business model was sort of broken, in which case we then also had to work on, you know, a smaller assortment. We had to look at, trying to work with white label products, which are cheaper, but also don't have the kind of brand equity that you know, the common brands from Unilever, etc. had. Next slide. And some of the data that we found is that, you know, there was not a lot of demand for powder detergent because liquid detergent is a lot more common. We also saw that, you know, liquid detergent Gensomatic was our, you know, our best-selling products, and we also saw that, you know, habits around, you know, which products are used are quite different from Jakarta. Next slide. We reached a total of 225 customers and around 3 B2B customers, and have done, you know, several, you know, socializations with the DLHK, PAE, as well as door-to-door sales canvassing. Next slide. Most of our customers were housewives. The second largest categories were government employees and students. Environmental sustainability was surprisingly the most important reason to purchase, with price being the second factor. Next slide. In total, we avoided over 4,000 single-use plastic sachets avoided, and we educated over 175 housewives on the importance of reducing plastic waste and how to do that. Next slide. We employed 3 employees, reached 220 customers, and had an average cost saving of 16% for our customers. Next slide. And we worked on, you know, we don't have a lot of time, so I think we can skip this slide. Can we go to the next slide? To the challenges slide. Yeah, so I think in terms of the challenges that we're facing, which have made the implementation a lot harder than we thought. So one was, it was hard to get the team that we wanted. Particularly, it was very hard to get the NANPAS involved, which is what we really wanted to do, to really fit into the current retail setup. The biggest challenge, however, was just that the price was so low and that it was almost impossible to find any competitive price in bulk. So the bulk price was almost double than the sachet price. And a lot of FMCGs also weren't delivering to Lombok. Also a lot of the SMBs, the smaller companies that we wanted to sell to, the larger ones essentially said, we already have our suppliers, like we're huge hotels, like we already have our suppliers, so it's hard for us to switch. And for the smaller ones, a lot of them were facing financial challenges post-pandemic. They still had a lot of old stock. And so for them to switch to a new product was also hard. Next slide. So going ahead, really we need to find local white label products that allow us to compete more clearly on price, and also have a more deeper socialization to really create the behavior change that we need via social media and also via offline events. Next slide. Yeah, that's it. Thank you so much. So we're still very much working on it and hoping that we can expand it, but it has been quite challenging. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Yana. It is wonderful to see the solutions from our friends in Indonesia. We can't wait to see both teams do amazing things even after this project. Now, before proceeding to the Philippine teams, let us hear from Councillor Geir Michelson, Deputy Head of Mission of the Royal Norwegian Embassy in Manila, to give a few words.
Dear friends, ocean is an important aspect of Norwegian history, culture and economy. The Norwegian government is committed to the oceans, and Norway is playing a lead role in the global efforts to promote clean and healthy oceans. Similar to the Philippines, Indonesia and many of the countries in the region, Norway is an ocean nation with one of the world's longest coastlines. Over 250,000 Norwegians work in the blue economy. The industries of petroleum, offshore seafood and the maritime sector. These sectors account for nearly 70% of the Norwegian export earnings. Unfortunately, oceans are also under pressure as a result of climate change, overfishing and pollution. We would like to commend the UNDP for this partnership in looking at solutions to fight ocean plastic pollution. This project, supported through my ministry, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and the Norwegian Development Cooperation Agency, provided a good opportunity for local initiatives that contribute to tackling this EPPIC challenge. We congratulate you, the project partners, and your innovative ideas that have tackled the plastic pollution in the ASEAN region. Thank you very much and congratulations.
Thank you for your message, Councillor. All of us here are very, very grateful for the support of the Norwegian government to launch EPPIC and support a portfolio of work that envisions a healthier seas for the Asia-Pacific region. Now, as mentioned earlier, it's time to hear from our teams from the Philippines, Pure Oceans and Trash Cash. Let us all welcome the founder and CEO of Pure Oceans, Ms. Pia Ocampo.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for having us again tonight. And it's so encouraging to see so many familiar faces tonight at our culmination night. Good evening to everyone here, and of course to our friends over in Indonesia. So just the next few slides, we'll start with an introduction for those who may be joining us for the first time or hearing about EPPIC for the first time. I'm Pia Ocampo, founder of Pure Oceans, and we started a business model called Linas Islas, upcycled plastic tiles and bricks in Samal, thanks to the EPPIC project. Just a quick backgrounder on Pure Oceans. On the next slide, please. We are a social innovation enterprise working with coastal and island communities, primarily for marine conservation, particularly keeping our reefs plastic-free. On the next slide, quickly, we just wanted to share that with our model, we have been able to divert 48 tons of residual plastic since we started in late 2018, again, working with those communities. And on the next slide, and more important to us, we've also been able to generate more than USD $8,000 in income for our partner communities through these models that we test. Actually, been very helpful even through the pandemic for them. On the next slide, this just quickly shows you, as we work with the communities, like in the last year, we focused on testing different business models, prototyping and iterating, community-based plastic waste alleviation solutions across recovery, upcycling, and prevention. And we hope that in first quarter next year, we will be able to share a playbook for other communities as well, where they can try these models, the successful ones anyway, for themselves. So taking that prototyping and solutions mapping way, of course, for the EPPIC project, on the next slide, what we felt that what we needed to do in Samal really was test an idea as well. So the idea is to see if an island like Samal, with its good mix of businesses, residents, a proactive LGU, thank you po, given these good ingredients, can a micro-circular economy exist on Samal? Something that hasn't been, we haven't seen it yet in the world, and honestly, other islands and coastal communities would need help on. So to test that, we saw that the case for Samal, on the next slide, actually the ingredients are there, as I mentioned. Maybe we just lacked some elements. No? And on the next slide, those elements really are having an on-island upcycling project or implementation. So we felt that perhaps we could turn the community into an upcycler, have the upcycling on-island instead of relying on partners outside, and look at all the sectors as collaborators. So as I said, to test the idea of a microcircular economy on the island, what we need to see are all these different ingredients working together, collaborating in order to support plastic waste and livelihood. So to test that, the business model that we brought in was, as mentioned earlier, Linas Islas, the upcycled plastic tiles and bricks. On the next slide. There. So quickly, just a quick description on the upcycled plastic tiles and bricks. On the next slide, you take the brick is actually if you've been able to visit our site in Barangay Kaputian, in Barangay Poblacion in Kaputian, so a brick is made up of used cooking oil, styrofoam, and residual plastics, no? Yung maninipis natin na plastic na hindi nagagamit at ngayon ay napupunta lang sa landfill. So we take those, we've had to establish collection for those waste streams, and those are now going into the tiles. With the help of our machines, of course, we transform them into something of value. On the next slide, and actually the next few slides, are milestones for what we've been doing in the last months. With the help of our local coordinators and project manager, and of course, the residents of Barangay Poblacion and Kaputian themselves have been very welcoming. Of course, we started with engagement with the community. The photos here are of our project manager going house to house and meeting with like resident dogs. And then, of course, the creation of a technical working group, some of whom have joined us tonight, and I'm very happy they're able to join us tonight. The next milestone, of course, was the delivery of the machines themselves. We brought in a shredder and a plastic densifier all the way from the north of the Philippines, actually, and of course, give training to the locals. So for example, we have 2 machine operators who are on call now for whenever we are able to do production. Of course, from the training, we are also able to move on to the next slide, where we were able to produce samples. And something we really wanted to do early on, which is a barangay demo day, so that the barangay residents would be able to see, oh, the collected plastic that we labored over actually got turned into something. And we were very happy with the feedback, and we were just happy seeing people's smiles and them realizing that their plastic could be turned into something new and actually something they would like to order themselves. On the next slide, we've also helped establish, or actually had to establish, used cooking oil collection among small food stalls and restaurants. This is interesting for us because used cooking oil is a waste stream that was previously unaccounted for in the Samal waste management system. So we're happy to continue that and help the Senro in that way. So in terms of volumes, on the next slide, for the recovered plastics, we were able to get, for 1 month active community collection, 108 kilos of recovered plastics, 7.5 kilos of styrofoam, which is actually a lot volume-wise, and 177 liters of used cooking oil. Note that active collection was only a month, so we hope to continue that once we stabilize our operations. But actually, the next slides are the ones closest to my heart in terms of milestones. I think really the biggest milestone for us is the rapid behavior change that started in the community, led by our community leaders. Again, by the community leaders who will join us tonight. So previously, Barangay Poblacion Kaputian was not segregating out plastics, residual plastics in particular. They weren't differentiating their plastic types. Most people in Samal Island only actually segregate the biodegradable and non-biodegradable. So now they've been taking out the residual plastics in particular, and even, on the next slide, washing, cleaning, drying their plastics so that it could be submitted as input material for the project. And this is beyond, happily, it's beyond even the waste they generate. But on the next slide, we can see that Linas Islas has also become a platform for the community's own advocacy. So their sense of responsibility for plastic waste now extends beyond the plastic they generate, but also the plastic found on shores. And again, the community is here. We have the youth-led CSO, Environmental Conservation Movement, who have been doing more cleanups, and the IP Mothers Group, BMKK. So they've been cleaning up their shores and using that as input for the project as well. So what's next? Tonight is a culmination, and again, I wanted to thank everyone, whoever helped the project and helped move it along. We are hoping for further, well, we just did a pitch a few hours ago where we hope to get further funding and further support. But apart from that, the hope is really to stabilize our operations, to get it to a stable, in a year, 32 tons of diverted waste from your landfill and upcycled in a year. So 32 tons, we can assure you of that if we can continue and stabilize our operations. And apart from that, let's say we just keep selling these basic tiles at our intro price of 15 pesos. We can generate a value of 11,500 USD a year if we can just stabilize our operations. But actually, beyond the basic tile at 15 pesos, we would also want to develop the product further, no? So we can at least push the revenue that we get from each run of the machine into more premium tiles. And I'm very excited. For example, we can stamp and incorporate, create bigger tiles that are stamped or incorporated with graphic designs inspired by Samal culture and Samat culture, actually. So I think that's very interesting, and at the same time, it pushes our possible revenue. Hopefully, that was enough to get the attention of our investors earlier, and we do hope that the project continues. Apart from, of course, the success of the business model itself, as I said, this wasn't just about testing a particular business model or testing a collection system or an upcycling machine. What we really set out to do was test if Samal Island could be a model circular microeconomy for other islands and coastal communities out there. So with the success of the model, I think this is good inspiration and a start for us to see, oh, it can be done. And I think Samal Island is the best place to get it started with. It's the best place to start a model that the world can learn from. And we do hope that we can continue and make it happen together. Thank you.
The Philippines generates almost 2.7 million tons of plastic waste each year.
The island garden city of Samal in Davao del Norte generates more than 19,400 tons of plastic waste alone.
To keep the country's oceans blue and clear, Clear Oceans created Linas Islas Initiative. This was then supported to the island garden city of Samal
through the support of the United Nations Development Program, the Norwegian Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Norwegian Agency for Development Cooperation, and other partners through the EPPIC project.
I-encourage me sa taga Pure Ocean nga mo hipo sa mga basura, labi na sa mga silupin nga gikan sa kadagatan, tuang kalikasan ang environment nato dili masayang.
Through the Linas Islas Initiative, a community of upcyclers and collaborators in Samal Island was formed
and was able to produce upcycled bricks and tiles from the recovered plastics.
With Barangay Kaputian and the other communities we work with,
they have to deal with plastic waste that they don't generate. A lot of it is plastic that comes from other wealthier regions brought by currents and wind. So they themselves don't have plastic waste management for their own homes, and then they still have to deal and live with this plastic from other places. So whenever we bring in a solution, we hope that the community is able to live with extra income and more dignity, and they're able to manage the plastic waste that comes to them from elsewhere.
After diverting almost 117 kilos of plastic waste, Pure Oceans was able to empower the communities of Samal Island.
Pure Oceans is all about working with communities, mostly island and coastal communities in particular, who need help in instituting plastic waste management systems. And the hope is whenever we institute this kind of system, it's also a way for them to earn extra income. So we come in as social innovators and help the communities come up with basically plastic waste alleviation business models.
With Linis Islas, we can keep our oceans clean while providing livelihood to those who live to protect these waters.
Once again, that was Pure Oceans. Thank you, Pia. Up next, please welcome the CEO and founder of Trash Cash, Benjo Vidal.
Hello. Good evening, everyone. My name is Benjo, and I am the founder of Trash Cash. We are, just to give a background, we are a mission-driven tech startup that aims to educate and incentivize communities to increase plastic recovery rates and improve waste management by promoting proper segregation from household to prevent plastic waste from reaching our landfills and oceans. We also aim to revolutionize waste management through digitalization and utilization of data. Next, please. Given the consistent calls for people to participate in various environmental initiatives, we've observed that making these programs effective requires a more disruptive approach to break the habit, provide a convenience to join the cause, and make recycling more engaging and accessible. According on our study, here are the list of problems that needed to address. First, lack of education awareness about the benefits of recycling. That is why proper segregation and recycling is not enforced in every household. Second, confusion on recyclable materials, inconvenience and inaccessibility of drop-off locations. Third, there's no available data to monitor the volume of plastic being generated in a specific community. So with mass production of plastic, low levels of recycling, and poor waste management, between 4 and 12 million tons of plastic enter the ocean each year. As you can see here in the picture, rapid plastic waste proliferating in Samal landfills in just 6 months. So with the support of UNDP, Norad, and Norwegian Ministry of Foreign Affairs, please next. We provide an innovative approach to educating and transforming how people can manage their plastic waste to ultimately prevent them from reaching our oceans. So our plan is to divert plastic waste away from Samal Island landfills, digitize and track plastic waste, and increase awareness and proper plastic segregation and disposal. Next, please. So let me show our activities and how we implement Trash Cash in the barangay. So first, we met our partner barangay officials to discuss how we can implement the solution to their barangay. So thank you so much to Chairman Pedro Valdez, Bong Molina, for the support and cooperation, and to our community coordinator, Ma'am Yeshi. Thank you so much. Next, please. We were also able to seal our partnership with the Envirotech, thanks to Sir Winchester Lemen for supporting our initiative here in Samal Island. Next, please. So last month, we've actually set up our first collection drive and information drive in the barangay. Next, please. So we conducted information drive to help communities understand the program about proper segregation and disposal of plastic waste and promoting of segregation from the household level. Next, please. As of the moment, we are also conducting a daily collection drive in every household in partnership with Barangay Peña Plata. So the plastic being collected from the household is transported to the barangay for proper cleaning, sorting, before transporting to our partner upcycling company, which is the Envirotech. Next, please. We've also conducted house-to-house registration drive to digitize the waste collection within the barangay for incentivizing for better tracking and monitoring. Next, please. Aside from the collection drive, the information drive, we are also currently building a system where it can actually detect or automatically analyze plastic waste, where it is also connected to our trash cash wallet, where our community partners can also redeem points from our partner brands. Next, please. So as of the moment, we were able to divert over 200 kilograms of plastic waste away from the landfills and oceans. Thank you so much for the participation of the household, the community, and the barangay, and for the dedication of our holders. Next, please. Currently, we continuously digitizing household to participate in the program for the government or for the LGU to better understand the waste data and to create effective waste management plan. Next, please. Our next step is to onboard more barangay here in Samal Island, further develop our platform, deployment of our smart bin, and scale our operation to other areas in Samal Island. Thank you so much, UNDP, Norad, Norwegian Ministry of Foreign Affairs, for the support. Thank you.
The Philippines is considered the third largest contributor to plastic waste worldwide, contributing almost 0.75 million metric tons of ocean plastic year on year.
Kanang ang problema namo sa kaniadto nga wala pa ning inyong programa, maski asa lang ni makakita og mga plastic sa plaza, sa gawas, makita gid namo ang daghang kay nagkalat nga mga basura nga mga plastic.
To the support of the United Nations Development Program,
The Norwegian Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Norwegian Agency for Development Cooperation, and other supportive partners of the EPPIC project, Trash Cash was able to provide an artificial intelligence or AI-based and data-driven waste segregation solution. With the hopes of turning trash into treasure, the team created the Trash Cash mobile app and was able to divert more than 700 kilos and counting of plastic waste from landfills and ocean, while also educating the next generation of Samal Island co-workers.
Ang Trash Cash ay isang platform kung saan tinuturuan namin ang mga community ng wastong pag-aayos ng kanilang mga basura. Tamang pagsisegregate ng mga ito upang makaipon ng points pamalit ng rewards. Ang mga nalilikom naming mga plastic sa komunidad ay ina-upcycle at binibigyang bagong buhay sa tulong ng aming mga partners. Gamit ang Trash Cash app, ini-incentivize namin ang mga communities or ang mga tao para ma-encourage sila na mag-participate sa ating programa. Ang mga points na may ipon nila sa application ay magagamit nila para makapag-redeem ng rewards sa aming mga partners.
Hoping to continue making change in Barangay Peña Plata's waste management systems, continuous collaboration for a better tomorrow stays at the heart of Trash Cash's advocacy.
Ang
impact ng trash cash sa community ng Barangay Peña Plata ay nabibigyan ng oportunidad ang mga tao dito upang makapag-earn ng points kapalit ng basura na magagamit nila sa pag-redeem reward. Bukod dyan, ay natututo rin ang mga tao ng tamang pag-segregate ng basura, lalong-lalo na ng mga plastic.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's Trash Cash. Thank you, Benjo. Before we hear from our next few guests, we would like to take this opportunity for our city administrator, Mr. Neil Jun, to present a plaque of appreciation and partnership to UNDP representative Dr. Selva Ramachandran. Thank you, gentlemen. What a journey! We congratulate all 4 winning teams for all their hard work and their significant impact in saving our seas and the environment. Speaking of our seas and the environment, our government partners would also like to extend their words of inspiration to our winning teams for their epic journey. Let us welcome the Assistant Director of the Department of Environment and Natural Resources, or DENR, Philippines. Please welcome Assistant Director Ms. Minda Osorio.
Thank you. Of course, to our Honorable Al David Uy, the Mayor of Island Garden City of Samal, represented by its City Administrator, Mr. Neil Jun Isdrelon. Good evening. To Dr. Selva Ramachandran, our active partner, the resident representative of the United Nations Development Program, Philippines. Of course, to our active counterpart and partner also from the government of Indonesia and UNDP Indonesia. Thank you and good evening. And of course to our partners, guests, and winners in this epic journey. Congratulations and of course thank you so much for your innovation. And sa lahat po ng ating pong beautiful people of the Island Garden City of Samal, muli isang maganda at makakalikasang gabi po sa inyong lahat. On behalf of the Environmental Management Bureau of the Department of Environment and Natural Resources, I am very honored to be part of the EPPIC or the Ending Plastic Pollution Innovation Challenge culmination event. And as we all know, our Earth is covered in plastic pollution from the deepest ocean to our highest mountains. Plastics have profoundly impacted the lives of human beings. Although it was not inherently bad, but its massive consumption and misuse created problems that we are facing now. Our landfills are being filled up with single-use plastics, congesting our waterways and contaminating our oceans. For several years, we have been innovative solutions devoted to mitigate plastic pollution. And now we are here to commemorate the milestones of the winning solutions and showcase business models to potential investors. Through the United Nations Development Program and its partners, the EPPIC has achieved its goal to unify citizens, local government units, and the private sectors in identifying distressing problems and drawing attention to efficient solutions regarding plastic pollution. So, let us give our wholehearted commitment to end plastic pollution as stewards of the earth, so that we and our generations to come can live and enjoy a safe, clean, and healthy environment. So in behalf of the Environment Management Bureau of the DNR, thank you very much at maraming salamat at mabuhay po tayong lahat.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Next to address us tonight is from the Solid Waste and Waste Management Coordinating the Ministry of Maritime and Investment Affairs in Indonesia. Please welcome Assistant Deputy Rofi Al-Hanif.
Thank you very much, and afternoon, everyone. Good evening from college in Manila, Philippines. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Excellencies, our colleagues from UNDP, Indonesia, Philippines, and Vietnam, and also our colleagues from Norad, from the Norwegian Embassy in Manila and also in Indonesia, and all the participants of this event. So, government of Indonesia take the issue on marine plastic litter and plastic pollution as an important issue to be tackled very seriously. Based on the survey and analysis that were conducted by the National Secretariat of National Team in 2018, the amount of marine plastic leakage in Indonesia was about 615,000 tons per year. So, but within 3 years, the implementation of our national plan actions, with all collaboration with stakeholders, partners, both in national and also in international, we have achieving our reduction until 28.5%. So it's quite happy with that, but again, we still have to have work for achieving 70% reduction target in 2025. So within last 3 years, we really need to work even harder and inviting stakeholders, strategic partners to come join with us. The needs to be collaboration with various parties and also innovation, that the issue that we are working on now, innovation to support the achievement of the target. Without innovation, if we work as business as usual, I think we cannot achieve our target, because we need something that really breakthrough, supported by innovation and in terms of technology, in terms of its implementation within the local community. So in this case, of course, as a competition, the Ending Plastic Pollution Innovation Challenge, or EPPIC, at the Southeast Asia level, which aims to capture innovation in handling plastic waste at sea, is very good initiative. We would like to appreciate the UNDP, the Secretariat of National Coordinating Team for Marine Reducement Region, the Archipelagic and Island States Forum, and the Norwegian Agency for Development Cooperation, or Norad, for organizing the competition, and also for the regional government of West Nusa Tenggara, and for who have fully supported this activity since the beginning of the competition, especially in the site in Mandalika, West Nusa Tenggara. I would like also to congratulate the winners of the EPPIC 2021 Ultra Packs and cyclists from Indonesia that they are working in Mandalika, Pure Oceans and Trust Cash for the Philippines, and who have made effort to implement their innovations to solve the waste problem both in Mandalika and beautiful Samal Island. After going through a very tight selection, then incubation for 3 months with 17 other finalists from various countries in ASEAN, to the acceleration assistance process for 6 months until today in the EPPIC Closing Ceremony. These 4 finalists managed to give their best effort to implement innovation in the fight against this plastic waste. Cyclus, with their innovation, is a startup that provides refill delivery services for household products without plastic packaging, has expanded and operates in city of Mataram. So it's even larger than Mandalika itself. Hopefully it can reach all level in Mataram society to change their habit and switch to refill to reduce the amount of plastic waste. Ultra Pack innovation in providing environmentally friendly food boxes made from coconut shell waste has also introduced environmentally friendly food boxes made from spent grains during the MotoGP Grand Prix event in Mandalika. This was held at the Mandalika International Circuit last March. So this is like our showcasing to the world that we have done something innovative in this area. It is a good step to start introducing substitute material for plastic packaging that are more environmentally friendly in the Mandalika region especially. I hope that the innovation that have started to be implemented can continue until after the EPPIC program ends. So this should be a sustainable effort and can even be replicated not only in the Mandalika and Samal Island. We need also to replicate this into other areas, and hopefully it can be shared to a greater society both in Indonesia and the Philippines and other regions. So I think again I appreciate all hard works has been invested by the participants, stakeholders, and all supporters to this program. Hopefully we can continue this even in the next years and with a greater impact that we can also need to encourage. So again, thank you very much, and see you again in the next EPPIC. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Assistant Deputy Al-Hanif. We are one with our winning teams in thanking you for the consistent support you have extended all throughout this project. Now, to formally close the ceremony, we are joined today by Mr. Patrick Haverman, Deputy Resident Representative of UNDP Vietnam.
So good afternoon, everybody. So representative of the Island Garden City of Samal. I'm so sorry I cannot be with you today. It needs to be online. Mr. Madini Mukarom from Lombok, from the Madeira Islands. It's very good to see Salva Ramachandran, the UNDP resident representative from the Philippines. It was good to see Norimasa Shimomura, the resident representative from the UNDP Indonesia, Councillor Gera Mikkelsen from the Royal Norwegian Embassy in Manila, Dr. Visminda Osorio of the Environmental Management Bureau of the Philippine government, and just listen to Rofi Al-Hanif, the Coordinating Ministry for Maritime Affairs and Investment. Ladies and gentlemen, let me start by thanking our colleagues from the UNDP Indonesia and the UNDP Philippines for partnering with us and organizing and hosting this important closing ceremony. We have heard it today a lot of times, but plastic knows no border. Therefore, it's an honor to implement this project in close collaboration with our government partners in Thailand, Indonesia, and the Philippines. And indeed, the EPPIC project has contributed to accelerating actions and to realize the Bangkok Declaration on combating marine debris in the ASEAN region and the ASEAN Framework of Action on Marine Debris, as well as the Vietnam's National Action Plan on Marine Plastic Litter. Colleagues and friends, you heard a lot of facts today. Plastic pollution is destroying our planet, yet estimations is increasing by 40% by 2030. Plastic pollution undermines sustainable development. It affects the poor first and foremost, especially those who live near dump sites and landfills, who seek out a living from collecting and sorting and reselling waste, or whose livelihoods depends on a healthy marine ecosystem, such as the coastal communities. Ladies and gentlemen, nevertheless, we're feeling a little bit optimistic when we see the intelligence and the commitment of the winners of today, of the Ending Plastic Polluting Innovation Challenge of 2021, who demonstrated a wide range of ways to reach a sustainable future. So our congratulations to Altapax, to Cyclus, to Pure Ocean Philippines, and to Trash Cash, the winners of EPPIC in Indonesia and in the Philippines. You came up with a very diverse set of solutions. So UNDP will continue to do everything possible to fine-tune, implement, and scale up your innovations in Samal and in Lombok Islands, and as well as Vietnam and Thailand, which we did the home of EPPIC 2021. For years, UNDP has been working across the ASEAN region to build the impact startup ecosystem and motivate young entrepreneurs with one clear objective in mind, the advancement of the SDGs. We have learned that the excellent solutions need specific and long-term support to grow and to scale up, which is why we designed this 12 months of incubation program. This is why I wish to applaud the ASEAN countries for their joint actions. And we hope that through the EPPIC innovators from all member states, we receive incremental support to implement their solutions, develop new partnerships, and deliver sustainable solutions to tackle the growing issue of plastic pollution in the region. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to express my great appreciation to Norad for the generous financial support to this project, for protecting oceans, reducing waste, and engaging local and regional partners in sustainable and innovative solutions. A special thanks for our partners, especially today in Samal, but also Lombok Islands, the UNDP Indonesia and the Philippines for co-organizing this competition and promoting innovations for sustainable oceans. Thanks so much, and terima kasih.
Thank you very much, Mr. Haverman. For everyone's information, the EPPIC project is being led with UNDP Vietnam in collaboration with other country offices like the Philippines and Indonesia. It is truly in partnership that we can move and achieve greater things. Now, as they say, photo or it didn't happen, we would like to take this opportunity to take photos of our participants and guests. May we call on our guests on site? Dr. Ramachandran, City Administrator Mr. Estremon, and Assistant Director Sorry. Also like to ask our Philippine teams to get ready and have your photos taken next with our guests. Thank you so much. Kindly stay at the center to have photos taken with our Philippine teams. Oh, kindly stay at the center, please. Kindly stay. Yes. Pia, Benjo, and Kyle. Thank you so much. That's a photo to last forever. Thank you, everyone. Terima kasih. Daghang salamat to all of our partners who are with us through this epic journey. At this point, we'd like to also acknowledge Smart Communications for supporting us and making sure that this live stream event will go smoothly. It was my pleasure to host tonight. Thank you once again. Until the next UNDP Ending Plastic Pollution Innovation Challenge. Bye-bye.